So how did I grow my business from zero to about £500,000 in the space of 2 years? So this video is mainly all about how I basically grew my business, and it's had its massive highs along the way, but serious lows at the same time. And what I want to do is cut through the bullshit, and really give you guys an honest story about how I grew my business. So it's Saturday. I'm just out walking around sort of the local streets to my place in Stafford. I also do a lot of work in London, so tend to be between the two quite a bit. But to get straight into it, so I guess my story starts at around 14 to 15, when I got a job in a local bike shop in Stafford, my hometown. And I was first appointed mainly as I think it was Sunday work, and that work really involved just cleaning bikes, sweeping the floor, and that was something that it was never really that inspiring. And I enjoyed going in because I loved bikes, but I didn't go home thinking what a great day I've had. It was always clock watching and, you know, when am I going to finish and when am I going to get my wages. And I always said I'd never want a job like that. So when I was at that bike shop, I decided that I was going to try and get to the point of speaking to customers, potentially selling bikes, and I thought it was quite a hard challenge to do, really. And in reality it wasn't. I'd spotted that actually making coffee would mean that you got to speak to customers. So what did I do? I taught myself how to do barista style coffee. Bought myself a coffee machine with most of my wages, and learned how to make a latte with some latte art, like they do in Costa and stuff. So then when one of the managers asked me to make them a coffee, I was able to do it and do it with latte art. So then I was able to get close to customers, and then ultimately customers would talk to me about bikes, and I decided I'd learn so much about the individual bikes that actually I was just as good as the people who were working full-time at selling bikes. So I made sure I knew that as well. And then realistically, I just started selling bikes. I sold more bikes and more bikes and more bikes, to the point I was actually one of the sort of leading salespeople. So yeah, that was a job role I really enjoyed, and it taught me a lot about sales. It taught me a lot about marketing, and there's a lot that I did there in the way of events, in the way of social media, which helped grow that business. And that got me my first major client, who at the time was we're talking £300–400 a month, but it got me a good first client, which was a real first step towards my time in business. And then my first real business was an e-commerce store that basically sold little plastic mudguards on mountain bikes, and that business did around sort of 25–30 grand a year at the time, and that was a good little income on top of my 6 grand I got from working in the bike shop. And yeah, I think in school doing those things really helped. All the experience I did really helped build my commerciality. Then I had a job at British Airways, not British Airways, Birmingham Airport. And the job at Birmingham Airport, which was only, I think it was 2-week work experience, taught me which area I wanted to go in life, and that area was marketing or sales. And as I then developed and carried on with my life, as you do, doing your A-levels, I ended up obtaining a couple of clients doing their social media. So when I got a job offer from British Airways to do an apprenticeship, I actually turned it down. And the reason for that was that I am financially motivated, and I'm motivated to make a difference in the world as well. And I knew that working at British Airways, I wasn't going to make an impact for at least 10 to 20 years, and I knew that what I was doing there, I could probably have just as much fun working on the accounts I was working on at the minute, and earning similar money. So I stayed in Stafford and decided that I needed to start selling my services. So that's really when the journey began, at around June, July 2019. And I really pushed forward, and that summer we attained around 15 clients, and a business that in its first year did 22 grand, but in the second year we managed to scale up to 120. And on that journey we actually experienced a lot of challenges, serious challenges, where you question, is what you're doing actually what I want to do for the rest of my life? But all I was doing was adding tens of years of experience onto under my belt, by doing the things I do, managing people, managing clients, actually doing the doing as well. And one of the challenges I got was that I'd built a reputation for always delivering, and as I got more and more clients, I got weaker and weaker at the delivery and at the communication, and I'd always make sure I'd deliver, but then the new idea side of things started to fade out, and it faded out because I wasn't sleeping. I was working ridiculous hours, and I wasn't getting rest. I wasn't giving my mind the time to rest and recuperate and actually have the ability to, you know, give good advice to these businesses trying to market their businesses better. So ultimately, rather than sleeping more and having less clients, I decided that I'd hire staff. So when I hit the 120 odd grand mark, I decided that it was time to hire staff. And to be honest, I did it totally wrong initially. So I thought, trust everyone, they'll deliver like I do. But the first thing you need to realize in business is that not everyone delivers the way that you do. And that was the first lesson someone once taught me, was don't think your staff are going to work as hard as you, because it's not their business, which is it's totally understandable, right? So the first sort of 3 staff I hired aren't with me anymore, but now we've built a team of 12 people, and the agency turns over around £500,000 a year, which is a real good business really, and a strong business. But we're far from finished, and the challenges we're currently going through is staffing, because a lot of our staff have only been there 4 or 5 months. So getting them to a point of being able to deliver and bring me money is quite tough. So, you know, we built these foundations, and the issues we're having now are around cash flow, or around having that peace of mind and freedom to do what I want to do day to day as well. So yeah, I guess the key things I'd say from my journey, and the key learnings I've learnt, is number 1 is don't separate yourself from your personal life to your work life entirely. You know, something I did was sacrifice a lot of my family and a lot of my friends just for the success of the business. But then when you get more free time in the future, those friends aren't potentially going to be there anymore, and that's something to remember, is actually still put effort into those people you like, and those people you went to school with, or used to see day in, day out. And then just because you've now got a business or you're pursuing your career, it doesn't mean you have to stop seeing those people because you need to work and deliver that project. You still need to make time for them. The second I'd say is don't quit those things you love doing. So if one of them is seeing your friends, don't quit that. if one of them is cycling or running, don't quit that. Something I did was sell my bike and quit cycling because it was costing me too much money, and I could have done better with that money going into the business. And that's the mistake that I made, was quitting cycling, quitting running, because that was actually the one thing that took my mind away from the business and gave me time to be more creative and refresh my batteries and release some endorphins. And you know, I got rid of that, and what that meant was that I became less creative, I became less, I generated less ideas, I was tired more, which is ironic, right? You do less exercise and you get more tired. But I think having those things is a real benefit to your mind and the way you think and who you are as a person. So that's something definitely, you know, with this channel, I'm going to definitely get back into. Now I've said it here, you know what they say, if it's on film, it definitely happens. So I better do that now. And I think the third thing that definitely I learned in business was take advice from all angles as much as you can get it. Get advice about key things that you're not best at. So and pull in resources at stuff you're not good at. So for example, I'm terrible at admin, really terrible at admin. I'm good at numbers, but I'm not good at accounting. So, you know, I have all people for those things, and that's where I think definitely you need to look at how, if you are running a business, how you actually get other people to do the things you don't want to do. Yes, I still have to do levels of those things, I still have to do admin, I still have to do accounting, but I have advisors and people to help me with those and do them for me. The other thing I'd say is, when you are getting advice, don't take everything at face value, sorry. You know, cross-check the advice. Don't let people sell to you. I'm terrible at being sold to all the time, and I think the key thing is actually take the advice, think about that advice, and then get secondary advice. And don't let people sell you the dream all the time, because I've been burnt far too many times where I've not been ruthless enough and just let people run all over me. I kind of call them business bullies to a certain extent. And what I'd say is, make sure that actually the advice that people are giving you is quality, and you know, they've actually got a credible background, and they're not just a chancer who, because they see you're getting some success, they want to profit off the back of that success. So I always say to people as well, make sure that actually the advice you're getting, they understand the business you're in and they understand the mindset you're in. So for an example, you know, I'm a young entrepreneur. I kind of want someone that's been in my position maybe, or experienced what I've experienced, or understand the way I'm thinking. I don't want someone that's just going to tell me about something that is massively irrelevant to my circumstance. So, you know, still take the advice, because, you know, knowledge is power, but just be careful of that advice. So yeah, I've finished my Saturday walk. Obviously we're still in the early days of this channel, so hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Just to recap, this channel is going to follow me on my journey of business ownership, entrepreneurism, and ultimately follow a journey of making sure that actually you know, we're growing, we're developing, and I want you guys to learn from that as well. So, you know, I am still in a very early stage of my business career. Yes, I've built a good business, but I'm like 2 years in, 2-3 years in. I'm not 10, 15 years in. I haven't built a £300 million agency like the likes of Stephen Bartlett, but I thought rather than doing this vlog when we're at 200 staff or 100 staff, and that seems so unachievable. You know, 10 staff, I hope in your mind seems achievable, and you can actually come on this journey with us as we grow, not just Unknown Marketing, but the Unknown Collection. But yeah, I'm just heading, just getting back to the place now. This afternoon I've actually got to go back down to London for a few days, and then back up to Staffordshire to see Kinney Tom. So all of that will be, I don't know when this is going to go out, but all that's going to be in the weekly vlogs anyway, where basically I'll film everything and I'll share that with you as well. But I hope you enjoyed the video and the insight, and I'll see you on the next one.